Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I've had a very tiring day, so today's recap will be a little bit more low-key than perhaps you're used to if you're a regular viewer. If you're a new viewer, welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy the video. If you don't, let me know why you didn't in the comments below. I'm always looking to improve. But it was Norway Chess round 4. They have a rest day tomorrow, and it's interesting because we're covering Magnus Carlsen again. The only classical match decided today. All the other 5 games went to Armageddon across both sections. And it's weird because Magnus Carlsen has had 3 decisive results in classical games in 4 rounds. He's, of course, had 2 losses. He missed a win in the game that ended in a draw, the Vincent Keymer match. And today he's playing the sitting world champion. Is playing Gukesh Dommaraju. Gukesh has got the white pieces. Magnus has got black. Yesterday, Magnus went for a Knight of Sicilian against Prague. So we'll see what he busts out today. Gukesh opens with d4. Magnus opens with d5, which we have seen from him before already. We get c4. We get e6. We get knight to c3. And now we get knight to f6. And this allows the capture on d5, and this is always meant to be slightly better for white, this move order. We get now bishop to g5, and now bishop to b4. This is part of the Queen's Gambit decline, the exchange variation, very symmetric. Knight to f3, queen d6 is a more interesting move. You're getting out of this pin, but you're still not developing any of your queen side. So you're not developing your light squared bishop or your other knight, your queenside knight, and you're not castling. So Gukesh uses this opportunity to play knight to d2. And now we get c6 from Magnus, just strengthening the center. You would imagine Gukesh would play e3 at some point, get the bishop there, get the queen there, and everything's fine. But it's weird that the knight's on d2 because he may want to go for an early e4. We get queen to c2. We get now h6, asking the bishop a question, and Gukesh ignores it. I've only got 1 game left in the database that I'm using, and it's from 2006, so this is a very interesting idea. You can see both players are out of prep. They've used time to get you, and you can see kind of the moment they went out of prep was around here. So Magnus' first think was on queen d6, which is on move 6. He had a few other options, obviously trying to just take Gukesh out of his theory. Gukesh already spent 10 minutes, spends another few minutes on here. Magnus spends 10 on c6. Gukesh spends like 15 on queen c2. So you can see here they're already thinking. Gukesh goes for this idea with knight b5, as we already saw. And Magnus plays queen e7. Now no games found in the database. The only other game left went bishop takes d2 check. And that is the top engine move. Magnus plays queen e7, which is the second choice, but it's not as accurate. And now we get bishop takes on f6. And you're forced to play g takes f6. Like, Magnus knew this when he played queen e7. The reason you do it in this move order, just by the way, the reason you go bishop takes d2, then it would be bishop takes d2, is because of this. Because if obviously if queen takes d2, you lose this bishop. Although your queen's hanging with check. So, for example, if queen takes d2, you can play this move c takes b5. You can take this hanging knight. That is the important thing. The reason this works now is because when you move the queen first, there's this knight fork that is a constant threat. So, by Magnus playing queen e7 and not taking the knight, it allows Gukesh to take and damage his structure, and to drop this knight back to c3. It gives him the time. We get now knight to b7, and Magnus is just going to rely on the fact that he's got this open file. He's going to use it to its full benefit. We get e3, his knight goes out to b6, we get bishop to d3, and now rook to g8. And he's posing problems to the world champion. We get g3, most rational move there. We get bishop h3, so no short castles for you. You can go long, but no short castles, and my bishop is potentially worming its way in. We get a3, asking Magnus's dark squared bishop a question. Now, do you trade or not trade? Probably you don't trade in this position, simply because you put a lot of pawns on light squares, and your bishop might be useful here. But then again, taking and kind of opening the king on the light squares might be something. So Magnus takes. We get pawn takes. You might think, wait, why not queen takes? Why not queen takes, and then you kind of keep your structure more together? It's okay, but Magnus can play this move knight c8, which is a real problem, because he's going to get the knight to d6 from where it can control c4 and e4. And this is the pawn break that Gukesh would like to play. So knight c8 is a real cold shower. It's one of the moves. So that's why Gukesh takes like this. And you might say, what's the difference? Doesn't knight c8 still come with the same idea? It does. It does. And it does arrive on the board. But now you're in time with this move c4. And you get this pawn break. Takes. Queen takes. Now activating. Knight d6 comes regardless. It hits the queen. But now the queen slides over. And now, because you don't have this pawn anchor anymore, you can't go to c4 or to e4. So that's a really nice position. Magnus kicks out the queen for Gukesh. The queen drops back to c3. And now Magnus plays this move rook to g5. And it's a very open game because Magnus is going to have perpetual attacking opportunities on the king side. And if he castles long, Gukesh is going to have equal opportunities to attack him on the queen side. So this is a very interesting game. We get bishop e2. Now rook to c8. Now f3, not e3, f3. Potentially Gukesh going to put his king on f2. But now c5. Look at this. So well timed from Magnus Carlsen. King to f2. And now rook slides over to d5. You don't want to rush with this capture. You don't need to rush. Because there's just queen takes d4. And you're okay. And you can play like rook g c5. And you're okay for now. But the engine is really starting to come around to black's position. Magnus, it's very happy with the way Magnus has played this. We get queen b2. And now the capture takes place. And now, all of a sudden, you have got massive problems. Like, it's not quite clear where Gukesh went wrong, but he went wrong somewhere. And the engine very much favors Magnus Carlsen, who's also up on time. He plays king f8, and he's going to be able to hide his king on g7, or h7, or somewhere there, or just leave it on f8. It's perfectly safe. We get rook he1, lining up against the queen, potentially. I just bring my bishop back. And, yes, you can play rook ad1. I can play this move f5. I'm using my damaged structure to go and attack you. And it's incredible what Magnus Carlsen does. We get f4. Now, cracking down everything, you do not take this and allow the queen in. You definitely don't do that. So we get bishop to d3. Now, I've still got ideas, but it's a tough position for Gukesh to play. Down to 6 minutes, we get queen f6. They've still got 11 moves to make until time control. And here Gukesh blunders. Bishop e4. It looks like it works. It looks like a great move. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Here Gukesh is already on a knife's edge. There is only one move for him to find. And it is the absolutely incredible rook to e5. Rook e5. That rook is untouchable. You might say, well, yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't have to take it. It's not threatening anything. But it's just an annoying move. It's clogging everything that you want. And the thing is, as much as Magnus has got a great position, there's not much more he can do. He can play like h5. He can play b5, both of which look like they hang pawns to some degree. Or he can play queen d8. So it becomes really difficult. This would have been the ultimate test of Magnus Carlsen. But here, like, the next best move is, not h4, a4, which is -2. So Gukesh already in a tough position. He plays bishop e4, which looks like a great move. Unfortunately, you get rook b5. The queen moves. And now look at this. Bishop zoning in onto b3. And the white position is not equipped. We get this trade. Queen takes c1 is an odd move. You would think the other rook wants to go here and potentially patrol this file, keeping this knight honest. But Gukesh elects for queen takes c1, which is that's just the end. Magnus Carlsen plays queen takes d4 check. The king slides over to g2, and now I bring the bishop back. My pieces are activating. Everything is under fire. Yes, you can take on f4, but I can give you a check. Your king is pushed to h1. I can bring in the queen. I am threatening a myriad of checkmates. You've only got really queen takes d6 check here. So Magnus Carlsen sacrifices the knight. But now what are you going to do? This check doesn't achieve much. I will hide. So you give the check. I will hide. You can pick up the rook, sack the queen for the rook. So now we've got a queen versus rook and knight. But these pieces are so passive, and you struggle to get out, and I'm going to win some stuff. And Magnus Carlsen takes down the world champion. He plays a4, and Gukesh simply resigns on move 42. He had enough, and the thing is, this pawn is going to promote. You're not going to be able to stop it. Your knight is really passive. It can't get out because there are numerous checks that are going to pick it up. Like any knight move at the moment loses. Except maybe this one. This is the only knight move that's safe. And even then, you're going to have to bribe Magnus to just allow you to checkmate him. And Magnus picks up a great victory. And so the standings look like this. The women's section was very interesting today. All the games going to Armageddon. And so after 4 rounds, the standings look as follows. We've got Bibisara Asubayeva, who continues to lead. She extends her lead now to 1.5 points after defeating Women's World Champion Jun Jun. Jun Jun having a really rough event. I think she's got 4 Armageddons and 4 Armageddon losses. So very, very interesting there. You would hope that the classical world champion can start to win some classical games. That was basically it. Divya Deshmukh, Anna Musachuk, and Zujina are all on 5.5 points. Then you can see Jun Jun in 5th place on 4, and Humpy Konaru on 3. Going to the open section, Magnus Carlsen, of course, scores an all-important 3 points in a classical victory. Alireza Firouzja remains on top of the field with a 2.5 point lead, despite his first Armageddon loss. He lost today in Armageddon against Wesley So. Magnus Carlsen, the only big victor of the round, as we said, scoring the only classical win of the day in a bounce-back victory over Gukesh. And Praggnanandhaa continues to climb up there, getting closer to Alireza, as he picked up a victory in Armageddon over Vincent Keymer. And so the standings are Alireza Firouzja on 8.5, Praggnanandhaa Ramesh Babu on 6, Wesley So on 5.5, Magnus Carlsen on 4.5, a full 4 points behind Alireza. But we know in this format, if you pick up a couple of classical victories, you'll be right in there amongst the mix. Vincent Keymer is on 4 points, and the reigning world champion is bottom of the standings on 3.5 points. The respective world champions not having great events. So we'll see how that leads into, of course, Gukesh will be defending his title later in the year against Chokifar Sundarov. And Jun Jun will at some point be defending her world title against Vaishali Ramesh Babu, who's not playing in the event. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Let me know what you think of Norway Chess. It is such an exciting event. I love it every year. Today was a bit more low-key, I think, just because I'm very tired. Gotham Chess beat me to the recap. I think I beat him yesterday, but he's beaten me 3 out of 4 rounds. It doesn't matter. I'm not competing with him. I'm doing my own thing. Let me know if you enjoy the video. If you like the channel, what suggestions you would give to me. I really appreciate all the feedback, positive and negative. Thank you so much for watching.